Welcome to the Light and Dark podcast. I'm your host, Sam Renfro. In this podcast, we'll explore what it means to be fully human, embracing all aspects of the human experience, the light and the dark. We'll discuss all things health and wellness, spirituality, and everything in between. And I'll share all the impactful tools and lessons that I've learned on this planet so far. The light is within you. Can you feel it? Hello and welcome everyone back to the Light and Dark podcast. I am so happy that you are here. I'm happy to be here. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful new year. We made it to 2026, and here in Santa Cruz we just completed like a major rainstorm. So the sun is out for the first day, and I really feel like energetically there is a shift. Like I feel like we've kind of come out of this a bit of a luminous dark kind of year, and it's so funny because it's like the duality, right? It illuminated so much for me within internally, and at the same time it was like really heavy for a lot of the year. So it was, it's been cool to be able to look back fully at everything from a wider perspective and kind of realize where I started and where I am now, and stepping into this new year feels pretty powerful. And my beautiful bunny is here to join us. So if you hear meowing cat, that would be her. Her name's Lux, but we call her Bunny. Today I want to talk about the energy of the unknown and navigating the unknown and what that means. And oftentimes in the spiritual space, we talk a lot about really diving into, like your conditioning, your shadows, and your belief systems, and starting to bring all this up. But then when you're in it, when you do that process, you kind of like, your ego wants to stray you into like 5 or 6 or 15 different directions, and you're like in the thick of it, and you're kind of like a ship navigating these treacherous waters in the middle of a storm, and you're not really sure where you're going. Your compass isn't exactly working, and yet there is a bit of thrill. And so I wanted to talk about these two aspects of uncertainty, and a lot of people talk about surrendering, and that is such a difficult thing to describe what that actually means, because we are naturally resistant to change. Your nervous system doesn't like change. We know that we want our nervous system and our bodies to be able to adapt. But getting them to cooperate with us in the midst of an intense change is kind of another story. So we have these two aspects that it's like, okay, I know I'm not going, I can't go backwards anymore. I am not living the way that I was. I'm not believing the things that I was believing. I'm not that person anymore. And yet, I don't know where I'm going. And, of course I'm speaking to myself when I'm saying these things, even though I have a much more clear picture of where I'm going now. There's still so much in the unknown of how it's all going to play out, what it's going to look like. And there's a bit of doubt that gets involved where you're like a bit unsure on what's even happening now. How do I even plan for the future? And so, I do talk about what we can do to get more clear on what it is that we want, and especially what we don't want. And so in that process, a lot becomes, again, I'm going to use the word illuminated, but there's still this fear of the unknown. And what I really wanted to get to is that the unknown is oftentimes this thing that we kind of feel is inherently bad. And what I'm starting to understand is, well, who I am as a person like, I love adventure. I love spontaneity. I love newness. Like, I love diving into things that I've never experienced before. And that is exactly what I'm getting. So when we get ourselves into this place of living from a different mind, a more embodied heart, from a place of, okay, I'm not doing the things that I was doing before. I'm not living the way that I was living before. I am really going in a new direction. And so if, like, when we're in the midst of it, when we're still navigating these challenges and we don't really know what's happening, if we can remind ourselves that this is what we asked for. And maybe you're like, okay, I'm someone, I don't really love spontaneity. I don't really love being out of control. I don't really love adventure or newness. I hear you too. But I still think there is a way in which we can remind ourselves we are going into the direction of our soul's highest alignment. And not even to be like super woo-woo when I say that. I'm just saying there is a plan that the Creator created for us. Of course, we have free will. But me personally, I feel like it would be so nice to know where to go and what to do. And so I'm developing my own intuitive sense of guidance from that Creator, from the higher power. But along the way, these things that are not for us have to be stripped away. And so when we're in that process of things being stripped away, it can feel like, okay, but I'm not sure what's happening because I can't predict the future. And instead of spinning in that loop of fear, wondering what's going to happen and how it's going to all play out, if we can start to remind ourselves that we can be certain in the uncertainty. And it's like I keep thinking, whenever I go to say unknown, I'm thinking uncertainty, right? But the unknown is rich and ripe for potential. We're stepping into something that is completely like a blank canvas, and we get to paint ourselves all over it. We get to be co-creators in this universe. We get to decide what it is that we are bringing into our new world. And we don't have to do that alone. I think, like I just mentioned, there is a greater plan at play here. But if we can start to think of all of the beautiful possibilities that can happen on the other side of this transformation that we're in, if we can start to tap into all of the things that we really do want that are so possible in our lives, reframing the unknown is the key. It is this insanely valuable tool that we can use to say, when we're in it, this is good. And I've been learning a lot about Kabbalah and all these Kabbalistic principles, and this is one of them. It's really when these things come up, when the emotions and the fear and the challenges and the lack of control comes up, when that situation from that coworker or that family member or the parking ticket or the whatever the thing that you wanted to happen that didn't happen and it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, starting to pause and acknowledge it and say, okay, this too is for my growth. This is good. And I'm working on this in my own life, but I really feel like it's valuable to share because, like, at first saying this is good is kind of ridiculous. You're like, but it's not good. But if you can understand why it's good, it's like, oh, I'm starting to rewire my brain, my body, my nervous system. And I'm starting to reprogram myself into the direction that I want to go. And that direction is full of potential. So, I don't know, it was just like this download that I got today when I was walking. I was just speaking out loud and I was, starting to kind of dive into these deeper aspects of my situation right now in my life and just kind of who I am, and starting to understand what it is that I can do to shift my energy into the direction that I want. And it's really this, it's acknowledging like these challenges, these mucky waters, this period of unknown is such a beautiful opportunity. And it is good. It doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be unnerving, and like it doesn't have to be the end of your world. Even though it may feel that way, it's the end of an old era, the old reality, the old way of life. And that way was serving you for a long time. It was protecting you, it was keeping you safe and comfortable. And it was probably really fun and really great for a certain period of time until you decided, oh, wait, there is something so much better on the other side of this. And I just have to slowly, gently, or maybe kind of fiercely uproot it and believe in a different way so that I can manifest the life that I want. So I can bring in more money, more abundance, more joy, more life. If I can bring in all these things that I really want into my life, all the people that I want, all the friends, all the situations and the adventures that I really crave, it's like I have to be willing to step into the unknown. So I am the captain of my own ship, and so are you. You get to steer the ship where you want, and you get to decide what kind of energy you're going to live in when you're doing that. And there might be a beautiful day, a beautiful like pocket of sunshine and rainbows. And I'm just laughing as I'm saying this because the other day we drove up to the city and it was like pouring down rain, but it was also, we were stepping into these pockets of like where the sun was starting to shine, and literally saw 3 rainbows. Like, you could see both sides of it. And the whole thing was so crystal clear and so vibrant and so full of color, and you could see where it started and where it ended. And that's just pretty rare when you see a rainbow. And it's kind of this beautiful manifestation of light, literally, after this period of dark and stormy, windy clouds and rain going sideways. And it's like, we made it through. We can see the light. And then what happens? Then you keep driving and a little bit more rain and a little bit more clouds and a little bit more wind come. And then you keep driving and you keep driving. And then all of a sudden, boom, another rainbow, another like patch of light. And so, it's like, I'm now realizing in this moment, okay, there's the light at the end of the tunnel that I was asking for. Like, this too shall pass. This is just part of the journey. And there's nothing we can do about it except for proactively choose how we want to feel in the moment, and know that like we're strong enough to get through all of this. And so, yeah, it's just so funny. This whole conversation, this whole like transmission is really just a giant realization and metaphor for, I think, my life and for everybody's life. Like, we have shifted into this new year, and of course, in all the traditions, like, this isn't exactly the time that's a new year. We're still in the thick of winter. But I think collectively we have decided that this is the start of a new cycle. And so if you're still in it, if you're still in the thick of it, if you're still in the unknown, keep that image. You are the captain. You get to decide which way to go. You get to decide how it's going to look. And most importantly, it doesn't matter which way you go, because whichever way you go, whichever thing that you choose, you're always going to be given the opportunity to turn the ship the other way. You're always going to have that patch of clouds waiting for you, or I should say the opening of clouds waiting for you so the sun can shine in. So sometimes we need to zoom out from our perspective a little bit And this is what this episode is really about. Zoom out so you can see all of the beautiful possibilities that are going to come to you on the other side. And maybe you've just landed. Maybe you're like, I'm in a new year. I'm reinventing myself. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to make all the changes. Maybe see if you can focus on just one or two that are really vital and important. But knowing that you're the captain, the unknown is not bad. It's here for you. It is good. It's here for your growth, and it's steering you in the direction that you are meant to go. So I don't want to hammer that in enough, but that's what I have been coming to. And sometimes what we need to do, I think it's really powerful to do it when you're in it, before you're in it, after you're out of it, either way. But what I'm getting to is that the most important tool for me has been prayer. And it's so funny coming from like this deeply Christian background when I was a kid, and like having all of this newfound understandings and opening of an awareness and this whole journey in the spiritual space, I should say. And I've opened myself up to having a really broad view of how the world works, how I work. And yet at the same time, I've come back to this idea or embodiment, the realization of God, and us not being separate from that. But there's still being this huge force for support and for love that wants to help us in every moment. And so whether you consider that your guides, your angels, or the creator, or all of the above, because it's all real and it's all here for you, all you have to do is ask. And so when you need support, when you're in the storm, just ask what you need. And this is another thing that has really been coming to me lately, is as I start to understand how my energy works, how I am co-creating with the universe, with the creator, how I'm really starting to live my life. It's not speaking out all the time, all the things that I don't have, or that I'm lacking, or that I wish were different. I'm really reframing things of when I speak, when I use my voice, this powerful instrument that I have, I'm going to ask for what it is that I do need. So if I need more money, I'm going to ask for that. If I need more clients, I'm going to ask for that. If I need more support from the people around me, from my community, from my partner, I'm going to ask for it. If I just need a day to myself with nobody else bothering me, I'm going to ask for that too. So I really wanted to get out of this mindset of like constantly speaking about my problems. And, it's really hard because when people ask you how things are going, you want to be real. Like you don't want to, at least for me, I don't want to have these surface level conversations and just try to play it off like everything's fine, everything's dandy. But I also don't want to be like a Debbie Downer and be negative all the time. And so there's like this delicate balance of like wanting to feel heard and understood. And I've just been noticing this pattern of like, I'm in it. And so I want to like share that with people, because I do think sometimes it helps. And sometimes you just need like a word of, you just need a little bit of help, or like that one thing that one person said, that piece of advice that shifted it all. And maybe that's what you need. But for me, I'm starting to empower myself a little bit more and be really conscious about my words. And so I think that's one of my major commitments. I'm not really the type of person that says is to make a list of 10 things that I'm going to do differently this year. But I think if I was going to make one, is being really intentional with my words, asking for what it is that I need. It doesn't have to be asking all the people around you and going to shout on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. It's really like having a relationship with the Creator, having your own form of prayer, whether that's a simple deep breath and asking yourself, or whether that's praying to a force beyond you, or even in a religious sense, whatever it is that resonates for you. But speaking out to what you need and then letting it come, knowing that it's already happened, it's already on the way. Might not be in the timing that we want, like tomorrow or in 5 minutes from now, but it will show up. And so those two things alone can just completely shift your energy. And I've seen it working. I've seen rapid transformation in my life and in those around me, and from the people that I've been learning from. The people that resonate so deeply to me are completely embodied and practical, and they're using this spiritual knowledge, this technology, and they're putting it into use, and they're a rocket ship for where it is they want to go. And I don't know about you, but I would rather be a rocket ship than an old 1996 like Honda Civic. Again, I'm laughing because I was talking to Susan last night about, one of the teachers that she's been listening to and studying with lately. He was talking about, he's like, I don't care if you have a 1996 Honda Civic, make sure you keep it clean. Make sure you clean it out and keep it nice and pristine. And he's talking about the numerology of this year being a 10-year, and most people are mentioning how it's a 1 year, and he goes so much further into that about the 1 and the 0. Anyways, that's a whole rabbit hole, but long story short, he's talking about the 1996 Honda Civic, and somehow Susan and I got into a whole conversation about having old cars. And so anyways, rocket ship, let's go. This is the year to do it. This is the time. And if, like I said, if you're in it, let it pass. Use your momentum, use your certainty, use your prayer. And then fundamentally knowing that this is all happening for you, use that as your rocket fuel. And let's create some magic. Let's get to where we want to go. Like, I'm ready for it. I don't know if you can feel it, but I do feel like the energy has shifted. And so it's going to be really cool to see what happens with all this. I think it's going to be another really powerful year, both on both sides, the light and the dark, but it is what we make it. And so, yeah, I hope these episodes have been resonating with you. I'm really excited to have a couple more guests signed up to be on the show. The last conversation was just really inspiring with Susan, and I just want you guys to know we're all part of this. The main reason that I'm hosting this podcast is because I want it to be this communal aspect. I realized in my life that family hasn't exactly been the most easy subject or area of my life, but creating my own family is so key. Not to say that I don't love my parents or my sister or I love the family that I came from. I have so much love, and I see the value in everything that I learned from them. And I know that I'm here to create my own community, my own family, bring all the people to me that resonate with me, and be able to create this really healing, loving container for us all to thrive in and grow. So if these resonate with you, please subscribe, leave some comments, leave a review. It would be so awesome for you to spread the word, find the people that you love, send it to them, and see if we can grow this thing together. And I'll continue on my end to be able to offer things that are of value for you and for everyone that you share it with. And with that, I will leave you to it. This is last thing I'm going to say. This is a powerful week for astrology. There's a lot of really good things that are happening to kick us off in 2026. And so if we can use this momentum, this rocket fuel to really take us into the rest of the month, the rest of the year, I think it's going to set us up for success. So I won't talk too much about that because I'm not an expert in astrology, but just know some really good things are helping you, supporting you, and are here for you. So with that, have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you next time. Much love.